Welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and I couldn't get the TV to work there for a minute.
That's okay.
You know
that's
me and technology.
I know, right?
I am the technology not queen.
Right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, yeah.
I got your back.
Oh, it's good. Well, somebody has to because I definitely don't know what's going on. You know, Beth, last week after we got done filming, we went to a new restaurant.
We did.
Here in Louisville.
And it was so good, you guys. It's called
Diamond Dawn's
Cafe, and it is on the square in Louisville. It's on the south side of the square, and it was so good. I had the mushroom Swiss burger and French fries, and when I go to a restaurant and they have a mushroom Swiss burger, that's what I usually order, and then I gauge it and compare it to all the other restaurants,
right?
Like how
absolutely.
how they rank on mushroom Swiss burgers, and I would honestly give this one a 10 out of 10.
It was good.
It was really good. They did great.
Yeah, and I always the very first thing I get, if you can make a good cheeseburger, you can make anything. So I always just get a cheeseburger loaded and an order fry, and it was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was absolutely fantastic. So that's going to be our new stop.
We record the show in Louisville, so then we go out to eat afterward, and that's where we're gonna.
Yeah, that's where we're going.
It's good.
Very good on the south side of the square.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you haven't tried it, make sure you go.
Yeah. So little Diamond Dawn's.
Little Diamond Dawn's commercial. We'll have to see. We should ask them if they want to run a commercial
I was gonna say, maybe
on our
we
show.
should ask them if they want to run a commercial on our show.
Yeah.
So dreary day.
Yeah, the weather here is not good, but
not a fan.
You know, at least the ice is past. And,
well, that's true.
It's dreary and rainy, but it's above freezing, so we're good.
Do you feel like we overreact on weather anymore?
Compared to when I was a kid, I think maybe a little.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean,
I'm so torn on the weather stuff. I really am, because it's like, okay,
maybe we're just smarter about it, though.
I don't know.
Maybe
I don't know. It
then.
Seems like back in my day, of course, I know people didn't sue like what they do. I mean, the 80s started the generation of suing. That's the worst thing. The only bad thing that really came out of the 80s was the fact that everybody started suing each other. Lawyers got involved in the world, but I just think it's like, because like they could have went to school yesterday.
I don't know. I disagree.
Really?
My husband. So yesterday in Clay County, schools were canceled because of ice. There was like 1/10 of an inch of ice, I think.
Yeah.
But by 11 a.m., it was completely gone because it had warmed up. So most of the day was okay for school. But I do think that they made the right decision in calling it, because my husband drives 35 minutes to work. He never complains about the roads. He can drive on any type of road and not be intimidated. Nothing slows him down.
And he was by that?
Very confident. And he said it was so slick on the way to work. He said it was like driving on marbles.
Really?
And he's like the best driver on that stuff I've ever met in my life. And if he said that, then by golly, it was slick.
It had to have been slick.
Because most of the time, when I think it's kind of slick, he's like, "That it's fine. Forget it. Keep going. It's fine." And if he said it was slick, we would have said it was incredibly slick.
I guess I just come from the 1976 ice storm.
79.
79. The 1979 ice storm, when the trees were breaking and power lines were touching the ground. I don't know. Sometimes I understand a lot of it has to do with the country kids,
Right, and the buses.
And the buses. I get that.
You wouldn't want a bus to be in a ditch.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't care when I was little. Buses
if buses went in the ditch, those kids, they'd huddle together.
My parents would have been, she's fine. She's got some gloves. She's got that. Parents today would be like, my baby, I gotta go get my baby. But yeah, sometimes I just think it's a little bit crazy. But yeah, I'm really excited. January's almost done. I do not like January. My least favorite month. I think it's dreary and horrible. But the way time passes anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Even January's not going slow.
It went so fast. And I saw something the other day, and somebody was like, this January feels like it's went on forever. And I'm like, what? I feel like I blinked and it's already the end of January. And wasn't Christmas like last week? Like it just.
It did.
It goes by so quick.
It does go by so fast. I don't know. We're just everything's just so busy anymore.
Yeah. I think that's it. People are just busy.
Yeah, busy.
I was busy this weekend. You want to know what I did?
Yeah, what'd you do?
I went to a Lego convention. That's not something you do every day. But I did.
A Lego convention.
That's what I'd call it. It was called Bricks Live or something, and it was in a convention center in Collinsville, and it was. The kids had fun. I took both of my kids, and I met my cousin and her son there, and it was hyped up to be like incredible. But I have to say I was disappointed. I didn't relay that onto my kids, and they both said they had a good time, and I left it at that. But as the person that paid for the tickets, I think it was a major ripoff. Because when you buy tickets, they like really hyped up this VIP experience. The VIP experience tickets were being sold out, and it included, if you did the VIP, you got it listed off like all of these things that you would get, and special experiences, meet and greets, take home things, all of these things. And I'm like, well, we've never went before. I would hate to get there and then everyone be disappointed because we don't have access to half of it, you know? So I'm like, just bite the bullet, buy the VIP tickets for all of us. The VIP ticket allowed you to have a badge that said VIP and and a take-home pin that fit onto your badge that said Brick Live or whatever.
That's all it was?
That's the only difference in the entire thing between
a badge
the VIP
and a pin.
Yes.
So you're going to throw away.
And I paid like $39.95 a ticket for each of us to get in.
How much was a regular ticket?
Like $17. So I feel stupid. Never again. And if any of you ever take your children to a Lego convention, just know that you do not need the VIP access pass. It is not necessary.
That's literally a regular ticket's $17. You paid $22 extra.
Yeah.
I would have thought there would have been. Did you get it soda or something?
No, nothing.
No cookies?
And in fact, Carissa, while we were there, she kind of has blood sugar issues. She started getting shaky. I'm like, oh gosh, I'll go out and find a concession stand. And there was a concession stand out there, and they had juice, which is what she needed. I'm like, can I have a juice? And they were like, no, we're closing. I'm like, it's the middle of the day. Like, why are you closing now? And they're like, well, we're just gonna be open for a little bit. We're closing. I'm like, so I told them the situation. They sold me the juice.
I was getting ready to say, why wouldn't they just say, yeah, here's the juice?
But it was just not what I imagined it to be. But that's okay. The kids were happy, and
so like they building Legos and stuff.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, so there's a lot of like YouTube entertainers out there that do Legos. Okay. All right. And they have like YouTube pages about Legos, and the kids will watch them build and learn how to do different things. And so Silas was really hoping, from how it read, the description was that there would be YouTubers there. And he's seen these YouTubers go to different Lego conventions. So he had in his mind there were going to be these famous Lego YouTubers there, and he could get their autograph.
And that wasn't the case.
Well, there were a few that kind of had a website. They weren't ones that he had ever watched, but he did get their autograph. And then basically they just had like these big tables full of Legos, and then you could just walk up to them and start building. I'm sorry, we could do that in our living room. Like, I don't know. But I did see some Legos that I'd never seen before. Like, they had glow-in-the-dark Legos. I'd never seen those before. And they had, or not glow-in-the-dark. I guess they glowed under a black light kind of Lego. And then they had these, like, archaeology Legos that looked like big, buildings. I don't know. They were just different.
I'm dying. Yeah. And so would you just, like, walk around and...
They had this.
I'd have been there like 10 minutes.
They had this one really cool thing.
Did you step on any Legos and wet yourself?
No.
I hate Legos.
No. There was this one really cool thing where, like, you could get in line, and that's the other thing. There was a line for everything. So you get in line, and then you could build this one flat block, okay? It's like almost like a quilt block, but out of Legos. And then it'll tell you, every person got a description, how to lay your blocks. And then they took them and they laid them on the floor all next to each other, and it formed one great big huge picture. But we got there and they were finishing for the day. So we didn't get there at the very end of the day either, but our tickets were for 4:00 and they closed at 6:30. So anyway, we didn't get to participate in that, and I thought that was the coolest thing. I know. And then they even had then there was even a line for this other area, and you're like, oh, okay, let's see what this is. It was coloring. you got to color a picture of Legos, except you used a marker that looked like a Lego. And so I didn't want to wait in line for just coloring because my kids are like, I don't care about coloring, but they wanted the marker. So I asked the lady inside, I'm like, do they get to keep the marker? And she's like, oh no, but they get to keep the page they colored. I'm like, okay, pass. Let's keep going. But anyway, I'm not trying to complain. I'm just, it's a warning. Like,
warning.
Buy the cheap seats if you go. Because it wasn't worth the money I paid for it.
Exactly. Buy the cheap seats.
That's right.
Well, we're going to do a show today on Indians of Clay County. Yeah. Okay. So I was going through and there's not like a lot of ads. So I was like going through like some 1960s ads. And I came across this ad right here of a Kellogg's cornflake ad.
Oh, look at him.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I've never seen this ad before.
I feel like I have, but
I
wouldn't know if it's from the 60s. But something about him looks kind of familiar.
He's an actor probably,
Yeah.
Kellogg's cornflake. And doesn't cornflake still use that rooster?
Yeah, I think.
I think so. The best to each morning.
The best to you each morning.
The best to you each morning. Man, you got good eyes, and that's even a blurry picture. And I did it right. I did like you told me to.
Okay.
It's just picture. And then on the side it says best liked, world's favorite, best flavor, Kellogg's secret, worst to run out of. And then it says pick up a spare, says Yogi Bear.
Oh.
Yeah, Kellogg's cornflakes. Yeah, the best to you each morning. Yeah,
Is that his name, Yogi Bear?
I wonder if it's got to be. Otherwise, because that's what it says on that little side that you can't see because it's blurry.
I wonder if that's who Yogi Bear was named after.
Pick up a spare, says Yogi Bear. Maybe that's his name.
Yeah, why else would that be on there?
Huh. Yeah, I don't know, but I just thought that was a really, I don't know, he's very...
Yeah.
He looks like, looks like that. Are you like some people, remember a while back when all that Southwest, I'm not a I'm not a Southwest decorator.
When that whole vibe was
going on. That vibe came, but what, the 90s?
Yeah.
Did that happen in like the 90s?
Yeah.
The whole Southwestern?
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved New Mexico. We took off and went, and we went to New Mexico last January and Tombstone, Arizona.
Style.
It's not my style either.
Something about the whole, and I like the color turquoise, but I don't really like it with all the tans and the
I do
triangles and stuff.
Yeah, I like. Do you have any quilts?
It's actually Yogi Bear. Kellogg's and Yogi Bear are or not? Yeah, Kellogg's and Yogi Bear.
Kellogg's and Yogi Bear go hand in hand.
Yeah, all of the Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Oh,
so we're based on
Boo-Boo. Hello, Boo-Boo.
Not based, but they're like
Okay, Ty's trying to help us out here. So, okay, so
like you'll see Yogi Bear and the Flintstones all over Kellogg's.
So they use the Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah.
So the Indian's name is not Yogi Bear.
No.
It's literally the Hey Boo Boo Yogi Bear.
Yeah.
That cartoon character. Oh, I didn't realize that.
Well, that poor Indian in the ad should have had his name on there somewhere.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, we're going to come back from a commercial break and we're going to talk about Indians of Clay County.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Jimmy ordered lumber, doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, Jimmy ordered guns too.
John Lucas.
What?
You better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. We are going to talk about Indians today.
We are.
We're going way back.
We are going to go way back, because we've done like first settlers and that type of thing. But and we talked a little bit about the Indians whenever we did John Macaulay. Was his name John?
Yes.
John Macaulay, yeah, the first European settler in there. But I thought it would just be fun to do a story on Indian. And in my research, I didn't realize that Clay County had buffalo.
Yeah, I think they did.
They did. We had. I mean, it's just hard to picture when you're driving down the street.
Like just a buffalo
roaming our county, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think about. I had no idea, but I found that I've even got a picture, but I didn't send it in to Ty because I literally just found the picture. And sometimes, like doing this research can be overwhelming.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I haven't really I've got myself organized to a certain point. But, because I literally just found an article we did a show a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, I lost this one article that I wanted, and I literally just found it. So now I'm wisening up. When we do a show, I'm going to put, it's in this book page, something. I'm going to have to get a little bit more.
Well, I had a really good article to share today on Indians, too, but I made a mistake in my research where I had some things that I copied from the library printed on both sides. And that has caused a problem because I think the article on the Indians that I wanted, I used in another, whatever was on the opposite side, I used in a previous episode. And now it's misfiled instead of with Indian stuff, it's somewhere else. And I searched all over and I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
And it was good, too. It was a really
good article, a good sad article. But anyway, so I thought, before, because like I said, I came across that. I got this, some of my customers bring me stuff, and I got this, the Prairie Echo book. Okay. I love this book. This one, Diana Jacobs gave to me, and Donna Roosevelt also has given me a few of these. And I really like it because it does have a lot of pictures and that type of thing in it. But I also came across some other things. I thought, if we're going to talk about the natives, let's talk a little bit about the plants.
Yeah.
Native plants that be here. So Clay County made up of 112,000 acres of hardwood forest. So when you think about Clay County, all we see is farmland, right? Clay County
was all prairie. It was hardwood forest.
We had hardwood forest, yes. Located here, white oak, red oak, shagbark hickory, sugar maple, black walnut, elm, and yellow poplar grew along at the upland bluffs and ridges. Cottonwood, silver maple, pin oak, sycamore, and sweet gum grew in the fertile floodplains adjacent to the river and the streams. And we had all that tall prairie grass.
So we were a little bit of both.
We had a little bit of everything.
No wonder people wanted to settle here. I bet that was pretty. We had the woods, and then we had the prairie.
You had the woods, you had the prairie, you had the river.
Yeah.
Yeah, no wonder it was a very popular settling place.
Yeah, no kidding.
The prairies were, of course, home and hunting grounds to many Native Americans. The Native Americans had many uses for the plants they found growing in Clay County. Much of this information was passed on to the Europeans that settled here. Of course, we all know.
Right, yep, they taught them.
The twigs of the sweet gum and dogwood trees were used to clean teeth.
Yeah, I knew that.
You knew that?
I knew that, yeah.
How did you know that? I
don't remember. I kind of feel like it might have been said in a Little House on the Prairie book. I'm serious.
I know that. That's got to be it.
Some book I read had that in it. Maybe it might have been, what's that one book about the little Indian girl that got left on the island of the Blue Dolphins? It might have been on that.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but yeah,
I don't
did know that.
That's funny, though. So sweet gum and dogwood trees were used to clean teeth. Okay. A tea brewed from the inner bark of these trees was used for fever, muscle aches, and diarrhea. I mean, it's amazing. Indians absolutely amaze me. Absolutely amaze me. White oak acorns were ground and used as a substitute for coffee. Maybe we should tell Devin Daniels.
Yeah.
Let's tell Devin Daniels at Common Grounds. Can you imagine?
I thought acorns were slightly poisonous if you ate them. I don't know.
It's probably kind of like mushrooms.
Yeah.
You think?
I don't know.
Hickory, well, they could be, otherwise all the squirrels would be dead.
Right. I don't know. That wasn't in a book.
That wasn't on Little House on the Prairie. Hickory nuts gathered in the fall that probably helped many families hang on through the winter months. So, I mean, you just don't think, I don't know, it's crazy. The boiled roots and leaves of the big blue stem were used for stomach ache and fever.
And that was one of the prairie grasses.
That was
big
one of the
blue.
Yeah, the prairie grasses. A tea brewed from the roots of ironweed, a plant commonly found in abandoned pastures today, was said to relieve the pain of childbirth.
I'm going to say no, it didn't.
Nothing relieves it, yeah.
I'm going to say that did not actually work. But if they believed it would work, then
Mind
there's
over matter.
power in that.
Yeah, that's right. Mexican hat, black-eyed Susan, columbine, and jewelweed were used to treat snake bites and poison ivy.
I believe in that kind of thing.
I mean, gosh, think of all these things that were here.
I know, and it makes me wonder, like, how'd they figure it out? Like thinking about mushrooms. Like, how did they figure out which ones were safe to eat and which ones were going to make you die?
Yeah.
And which ones were going to make you see weird things? I mean, did they have a guinea pig that they were like, well, let's feed this one to Bob and see what happens? I mean, I don't know.
Yarrow, prized for its antiseptic qualities, was used for burns, colds, toothaches, bleeding, fever, diarrhea, hemorrhoids, and rashes, and was later used to pack the wounds of soldiers during the Civil War. Black-eyed Susans were a source for yellow dye.
Oh.
The steam and smoke from mullein and bee balm was said to ease the symptoms of respiratory ailments. Love potions were prepared from columbine, cardinal flowers, and the prairie smoke plant. The roots and seeds of the purple and pale purple coneflower is a commercial source of echinacea. Echinacea is commonly sold in health food stores as a cold and respiratory cure. It is also touted as an immune system enhancer. Native Americans used the roots of these flowers for burns, rashes, rheumatism, and snake bite. Yeah, I mean...
So they had everything they needed right here
Absolutely,
in the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, who needs Walmart when you got Clay County soil?
I'm going to say, yeah, I mean, and then there's a few other things here, but yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. The richly diverse plants communities native to Clay County have left us an important legacy, not only of beauty and usefulness, but productive agriculture soils as well. We need to take some time to appreciate that. Yes, we do need to take some time and not put solar panels on them. Just saying.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah. Could you? Yeah. So I don't know. I thought that was.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I don't know. I thought that was a really interesting when I came across that native plants of Clay County. I had no idea we had all that.
I knew that they tried to use everything, but I mean, I didn't really give it a lot of thought.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, what all we had, because you just think, because then it makes you wonder, like when all the orchards, because we were the apple king of the world there for a while. And yeah, so neat. So, so that's a little bit of that. Do you want to dive into a little bit of what you've got?
I
go back and forth?
Yeah, I have a little bit here on the ancient Indians. So these will be the ones that were like way, way back. And they were called the Hopewellian Indians. And they built large communities, large mounds. The largest is the Monk's Mound in the Cahokia Mound State Park near East St. Louis. Have you ever been there? Cahokia Mounds?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the same group of Indians. But they were also in Clay County. Let's see. There aren't any mounds like the Cahokia mounds in Clay County, but they did have burial mounds in Clay County. But there was lots of campsites in Clay County, places where they had camped. And many of their artifacts have been found right here in Clay County. And it says, this guy that wrote this article, Ernest Elliott, he said he doesn't know where the Hopewellians came from or where they went and why they left. But they were the best organized and most progressive of any Indians that ever lived in this area. They did all kinds of stuff that were pretty advanced. Just to build those mounds, like in Cahokia, would have taken like over 1,000 people to do that over a period of like years and years and years. But wow. They had baskets and animal skins, and they were believed to be the first men in this area to use the bow and arrow. So even way back when, they did that, and they were also the first to make clay pottery.
Really?
Let me see if I can find. There's not a real like exact time period that they were here, but one number is like 10,000 years ago. Like it's
okay,
like
yeah.
Prehistoric, like way back. And I don't know if it was that long ago, but it was definitely over 1,000 years ago. They had very fine flint tools, and I think that's what a lot of people have found in Clay County that go back that far. Let's see. They lived in large communities along the river, so they probably would have lived close to the river here. Their hunting parties would go out and travel for miles and miles. Let's see. They lived by hunting and gathering wild fruit, herbs, and nuts. And then they used mortars to pound seeds and hard food before cooking. And then this paragraph, see, he kind of jumps back and forth with how long ago they were here, because none of that's set in stone.
We don't know. Yeah, how would
pun intended. But this number here says 5,000 years ago. So they're a little all over the place with exactly when these people were here, but they were probably the earliest Indians that were here.
That is interesting.
Yeah, the Hopewellian Indians.
I've never heard of them. Have you ever heard of that tribe?
I have, yeah, but probably just from reading through some of this stuff. Let's see. This article here is talking about ancient inhabitants, and it says it appears that at least 2 nationalities of man lived in this area between 400 AD and 1775 AD. So between 400 AD and 1775. I mean, 1775 was just a year before the Revolutionary War, so that's not really all that far back. But 400 AD is way back. That's going way, way back. So they are called the early and late woodland Indians.
Beth, I'm going to stop you there.
Okay.
We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll come back. I find that fascinating.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank.
We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online banking, just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be.
Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
It's the weekend, and your symptoms are worsening. The morning of a big meeting and you have a bigger sore throat. Ever experienced that urgency after picking up your sick child and your community health center has already closed? You will be able to connect to a provider at crhpc.org. Even if you have never been to CRHPC, you are welcome to utilize our services. Feel better after scheduling a video visit with CRHPC.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Today we're talking about Indians in Clay County. And I was talking about the Hopewellian Indians, which were some ancient tribes that lived here. And there were different numbers on my page here, but I think the overall consensus is that they were mainly here 1,000 years ago is when they were there was a lot of stuff found from that time period. But the earliest ones were from 480 to 1775 AD, and they were called the early and late woodland Indians. And it says one type had short heads and the other type had long heads.
Well,
they know that, I guess, from their skulls that they found. But then they kind of swapped places. One tribe left and the other took over around 1000 to around 1000 AD. But it was believed to be peaceful. And these Indians are the ones that introduced better living conditions, like better homes, gardens, and tools. And they raised corn, tomatoes, squash, sunflowers, and potatoes. Sound familiar?
That does sound familiar.
Same things that we raise that we like to eat.
Yeah.
And it says also that none of those vegetables were known in Europe before Columbus. So before Columbus, they did not have potatoes or corn or any of that over there, I guess.
Wow.
Which seems odd to me because I thought they did have potatoes during the famine in
Ireland,
but I don't know the year on that.
I don't know the year on it either.
Okay.
That was the 1500s, wasn't it?
I think it was the 1700s.
The 1700s?
But maybe Columbus came over in 1492. He sailed the ocean blue.
Yeah.
So if they did, that would have been when he got the potatoes. Yeah. And then the famine in Ireland wasn't until
it was 1700s. It was the 1700s. Yeah.
I know that from Outlander.
Right. That's what I say, because Claire comes and says, plant potatoes so you won't starve to death.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
Scotland,
it was
not Ireland, but it was all around the same time.
Scotland. I got my Braveheart mixed up with my Outlander. Braveheart was the 1500s.
People are going to be like, these two ladies, like, where do they get their research? Because it sounds to me like they're getting all of their facts from Little House on the Prairie and Outlander. And I'm not going to lie. Some of it comes from things I've learned along the way.
I'm telling you, it does.
This is from actual history books.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. That's interesting.
Yep. Okay. Let's see. They also fished and shot wild game. They lived in pole houses that were thatched with bundles of the tall prairie grass. These houses were small, only like 9 by 12 feet and up to 22 by 27 feet. Even if they had a mansion at 22 by 27 feet, that is about the size of some of our, living rooms. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Not my living room, but some people's.
That's crazy.
They kept their food in holes that were dug in the ground and in large jars.
Jars?
Mm-hmm. They had jars.
Because they were the first ones to make clay pottery?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, ancient Indians. Pretty neat. Those were the first ones here, really.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'd never heard of that tribe before.
Yeah, Hopewellian.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that name doesn't even sound Indian.
Yeah.
Do you think?
I don't really think. I mean, you don't think of it. But maybe they weren't. Maybe that's not what they called themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we're going to switch over here, and I've got an article, and it's written by Ernest Elliott, which we're really coming to really like.
I love the Ernest Elliott
we're liking
stuff. He wrote for the Clay County paper back in the 60s.
Yeah.
He was born in like 1897 or 1892. In one of his articles, he wrote that, and I'm like, holy cow, like, that just blew my mind, because you think of him, he wrote in the 1960s, so you don't think about him really being from the 1800s, but he really was born at the end of that century.
Yeah, and he was old. I mean,
he was old when he was writing the papers. Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk a little bit about some of the other Indians, the two tribes here in Clay County in the 1800s, the Shawnees and now you're going to have to maybe correct me on this, the Potawatomi.
Potawatomi? I don't know.
Potawatomi.
I'm not sure.
Now, Shawnee and Potawatomi.
That sounds Indian.
That sounds Indian. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. The different tribes in Clay County in the 1800s were the Shawnees and the Potawatomi. I like that.
I like it too.
Uh-huh. Clay County was good to the Indians. There were both prairie and timber with water, which made game plentiful.
Yeah, I bet.
There are several village sites in Clay County. Now, this is what I would like to find. There are several village sites in Clay County, especially along the Little Wabash River, where Indian villages have been. Sometimes 2 or more acres of farmland will be blackened with their campfires of bygone ages. So I wonder, but there can't be any.
How do you still see their campfires?
Well, I think he was that's just Ernest is literary.
Okay. He's imagining.
He's imagining.
Okay. Like, hold on, Ernest.
Yeah. The 2 different tribes each claimed land as their home or hunting ground and would often fight for it.
I started to say, was there battles
here? There were battles here, yeah, because so you've got these 2 tribes here, and Clay County was, 112,000 acres?
Yeah.
We said, but a lot of it, all that wooded area and stuff. But yeah, so, yeah, they did fight amongst each other. I mean, I love Indian heritage and all that, but, you know, people are like, oh, the poor Indians. Man is man no matter what color you are. Man's heart since Adam and Eve, since the devil came into the garden, you know, so it's one of those things. They fought and killed each other just like for possessions, just like man does today.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a tradition, and this is a hand-me-down story, that George Rogers Clark and his volunteers on their way to capture Vincennes in 1779, on the night of February 11th and 12th, camped on the high ground now occupied by McKendree School.
Yes.
Now, because like at the depot, there is a statue
of George Rogers Clark.
George Rogers Clark.
Yeah, I believe we talked about that a little bit on another episode where I mentioned that.
Yeah.
That they camped there.
They did camp here, like where McKendree School at. That doesn't really seem like a high point.
No, it doesn't, but I guess it was.
But apparently it was. But it may have been, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that story may be so, for the history tells us they captured Kaskaskia and Cahokia and left there on February 6, 1779, overland en route to Vincennes, which they captured on February 25th. And it seems likely that they would follow the old Indian trace from Cahokia to Vincennes. At least one of his soldiers, George Goebel, came back and settled in Louisville, where he is buried in the Lost Graveyard, a few blocks south of the courthouse near the river.
I think, was it the George Goebel episode that I mentioned that on? Because I think I had that article.
Yeah. Yeah. It has been estimated that there were probably about 1 million Indians in the United States area between 16 and 1700. Wow. Now, a little over a third of that many, maybe 343,000 Indians.
How sad.
But yeah, I do find that, you know, you don't think, you know, like I said, I would put money on it that when people come, they don't even pay attention to that statue at the depot.
No, I think a lot of people just whoop, drive right by it.
George Rogers Clark.
He was
here.
Yeah, he was here.
He was here in Clay
County. The guy that explored west. Him and his friend.
Yeah.
What's his name? My mind went blank.
I just lost it. Yeah.
But anyway, they went most of the time together. But I don't know that he was with him when he came to Clay County. But George Rogers Clark was here.
Yeah, I just find it's so awesome. You know, I'm gonna tell you what. If you want to learn about the history of Clay County, go to the depot and take a tour.
Oh, yeah.
Take a tour of the depot. It's all there.
Mm-hmm.
The Indians required salt the same as we do. At least a part of the salt was brought from Saline County, Illinois.
Saline County. That's Harrisburg. That's where I grew up.
That's you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not Saline?
No, it's Saline.
I say Saline.
Well, but it's Southern Illinois. You're not going to say it correctly. You say Vienna. You don't say Vienna.
I say Vienna.
Vienna. Okay, this is Saline County.
Saline County, Illinois.
Just Saline County.
Where the salty spring water was evaporated in baked clay pans and jars.
Mm-hmm. And then later they had salt mines there.
Yeah. Are they still there? the salt mines there?
They're not active. I don't know.
A few fields in that area are strewn with broken clay jars so thick you cannot step without stepping on them. Yeah.
I never saw that when I lived there.
You didn't step on any old broken...
I did not step on broken pottery, and the fields were not so full of broken pottery that you couldn't walk. But I wasn't in very many fields, was I?
I was going to say, it's probably been tilled up, right?
Yeah. Or coal mined under.
Yeah. The Indians of 400 years ago carried on trade with other tribes as far away as the Gulf of Mexico, where they brought back shells and things that they could not find here. Also, as far north as Minnesota, bringing back copper, which they pounded into spears and cutting tools. Only a few of these have been found. My brother-in-law, Bill Waller, isn't, and he's got a ton.
Oh, does he?
Oh, he's a big time. He's a rock collector, Indian head collector.
Dean Lewis has a great collection too.
Yeah,
we should have asked him about some of this stuff. He might have been able to give us a lot more clues.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, he does have a lot of. Yeah, his dad was big into that too, wasn't he, Don? Don Lewis, wasn't he a big? And like I said, so's Bill, because I know Bill, my brother-in-law, talks about, talking to Don Lewis and that type of thing.
Yeah.
The tribes sometimes moved from one place to another to better their hunting ground or for other reasons. One of these migrations took place about 1700 when a once powerful tribe, the Kaskaskia and the Tamarora, I don't know, after being run out of their homes along the Illinois River area by another tribe 150 miles north of here, migrated south into southern Illinois, where the Shawnees had lived for at least several generations.
Think
How
Shawnee
many times
National Park,
Shawnee
Hills.
That's right. The Kaskaskia College, Kaskaskia River. Yeah, it's all, it's awesome. These two tribes lived in peace, at least part of the time, for 100 years. They were about the only tribes living in southern Illinois at the time. In 1802, the Shawnees decided to make war on the Kaskaskias.
I wonder what set them off. Like, they've been living peacefully together for years.
100 years. Why would you do that now? The battle started near Old Frankfort, Illinois. Illinois. The Shawnees were winning, and the Kaskias started to retreat and were run into the muddy river bottoms, hotly pursued by the Shawnees. The river was overflowed, and the Kaskaskias were nearly annihilated. The Kaskaskia chief was an old man and a good friend of the whites, who called him Jean Baptiste. Jean Baptiste.
Not John the like Jean Baptiste? Like
Jeanbaptiste, Baptiste. Jean Baptiste. Or it said it's got like Duquoin Indian or John Duquoin for English. Maybe, is that where Duquoin gets its name?
Probably. I think that's based on an Indian word, so.
Yeah. The Algonquin culture, usually called late woodland or Mississippian culture in this area, is believed to have been here about 1,000 years and was preceded by the Hopewellian culture. The Algonquin culture Indians were probably the most numerous of all Indians in the U.S. There were many tribes, and their language varied from tribe to tribe. But the first Bible ever printed in the U.S. was one of the Algonquin languages.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Isn't that neat history?
Wasn't printed in English.
Let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll come right back.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Pegel's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Pegel Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
The insurance specialists have options to tailor to your needs at CSI Insurance Brokers. Experienced insurance brokers at CSI are skilled with all types of insurance plans and policies and represent many companies, including Safeco Insurance. You'll benefit from their detailed expertise, unbeatable premiums, and commitment to customer service. CSI Insurance Brokers and Safeco Insurance Company, providing affordable rates on quality insurance since 1952.
For over 50 years, at your locally owned and operated Royal King Supply in Salem and Olney, we've helped you and your neighbors enjoy an easy country lifestyle. We carry the most thorough sporting goods department around with a huge variety of hunting and fishing gear, camping equipment, and a variety of firearms for any need. Our team is here to help you find whatever you need. Open every day, it's Royal King in Salem and Olney, your locally owned farm and home store.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I am Stacey Earlywine, and we are talking about Indians of Clay County, Southern Illinois. We're coming up, the Kaskaskia, Shawnee, DuQuoin, Illini, Illinois. Illini, which I love Chief Illini, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
But I was just finishing up on the Shawnee and the Potawatomi Indians that lived here and lived and hunted and survived in Clay County. Between 1700s, But then by 1800, of course, the white man comes along, Europeans come. Smallpox and other white man diseases had killed off many of these Indians, and many of their towns had disappeared.
How sad.
Yeah, so I think that's a lot of what happens. You got to be careful because, I don't know how many of you guys have ever traveled out of the country, but that's why immigration, when you come back in, is like, do you have any fruit? Do you have any food? Did you bring back any vegetation? Did you bring back any?
Right.
That's why you have to be careful with that, because just because something is good over in Mexico,
right,
or Ireland, may destroy what we have here.
Right.
God was very particular when he made
Yeah.
God knew what he was doing when he put certain things in certain places and they're supposed to stay.
Right.
Yeah. So, that's my story on the Indians. What do you have for me?
I have something interesting that Don Thomas shared with me, and that is that Flora actually had a day in 1927 called Indian Day.
Oh.
Indian Day in Flora.
1927?
1927. And it was put on by the Booster Club here in town, and they actually had these little souvenir coins almost, but they were like bigger than a coin, and on them it was engraved a picture of an Indian head, and it said Booster Club, November 1927, Flora, Illinois. And so I'm going to tell a little bit about that.
I like that.
Yeah, it was a souvenir of Indian Day, and the whole Indian Day thing was a big promotion. Okay, so it was put on by the Flora Commercial Club. Never heard of that one. Okay. And then the Flora Booster Club. They were both really active in bringing activities and fun things and doing things in Flora.
So that would be kind of like our tourism today.
Probably. Their main objective was to promote Flora. Okay, so promote it they did. They had approximately 35 Blackfoot Indians from their reservation in northern Montana come to Flora. They were invited here to acquaint Flora people with their ways and their customs. So they traveled all the way here from Montana. They must have been paying them. It said this was a big promotion, and it was intended to draw people into Flora from the surrounding areas. And it did exactly that. I mean, this day was like a hit, a huge hit. Attendance to the event broke all previous records, with the crowd being estimated at as many as, guess how many? Before I tell you, guess how many people were here?
In Clay County.
In Flora.
In Flora. For the Indian Days. 13,500.
You were close. 15,000.
Oh,
15,000 people.
15,000. That's awesome.
It said there was an estimated 2,000 automobiles in town that day. and that was November 1927. So not everybody had a car back then. You know, there's 15,000 people, but 2,000 automobiles, and probably not that many parking spots, wouldn't you guess?
I would think not.
Yeah, it said every available place used on streets for parking purposes and residences and business lots were all used for temporary parking. So anybody in town that had anything somebody could park on. And it was November, so hopefully the ground was kind of hard and they didn't get stuck, but who knows. So,
winters were a lot harder back then, so yeah, they probably did, yeah.
The Indians came to Springfield from Montana on the Great Northern Railroad, and then they went south to Florida on the old-time train called the William Crookes train. I didn't know about this train. This Crookes train was said to be a veritable curiosity shop for the crowd. People viewed the inside at a steady stream. It contained an old-time wood-burning engine, a baggage car, and one coach. The William Crookes train was the first train to cross from St. Paul to Minneapolis when they were still villages in 1862. So this is a really old train car that they came in on. And I guess all of the people of Florida were just as curious about the train car as they were the Indians.
Right.
So there was just a steady stream of people touring this train the entire day. The train pulled into Florida before noon on the 3rd of November. It was greeted by a surging mass of humanity.
Wow.
And it required all available city, county, state, anybody that was police force was in Florida that day to hold the crowd in check and to allow the Indians to get off of the train.
How interesting.
A group formed on West 2nd Street, and that was led by the Florida Band.
West 2nd Street?
Yep. So the band was there. They had a little mini parade, the band leading the way, the Indians behind them, and they were probably thinking, we could drum better than these kids, but maybe not. Maybe they weren't drumming.
That's so fun, though.
And then the railroad officials, and then there was just people that were just watching that kind of just jumped in on the parade, like the onlookers just kind of brought up the rear of the parade. Entrance was made into the city park from the southwest and near what was then the Durland Residence Corner. So when they say City Park, they're talking about Library Park area. They're not talking about Charlie Brown Park or anything.
Right.
The Durland Residence Corner. Did we talk about the Durlands, which house they lived in?
No, we haven't done the Durlands yet, I don't believe.
I don't remember.
I don't remember them.
Somebody told me, but I don't know where that is.
I don't remember that.
Okay, so the band set up on the pavilion while the Indians marched up the runway from the pavilion to an elevated platform erected just south of the pavilion. And I think the pavilion was near where the gazebo is today. The program consisted of Indian songs, war dances, sign language between two Indians interpreted by Owen Heavybreast. The program, that was his name, I don't know. The program painted a graphic picture of Native Indian life and customs, and the crowd thought this was fantastic. I mean, this was super entertaining to them. And I think they, it was educational. They wanted to learn. And these Blackfoot Indians were willing to teach them all about their tribe. The mayor at the time, the mayor of Florida, W.E. Woods, I don't know W.E., but I don't remember his name coming up before, but W.E. Woods was the mayor at the time, and he was even initiated into the Blackfoot tribe that day and given the name Crow Eagle. I like that.
I like
that better than Heavy Breast.
Yeah, Crow Eagle and Heavy Breast.
But anyway, the Booster Club gave out several thousand of those Indian Day buttons, or wooden. They almost look. I'm not sure they were. They're calling them a button, but I'm not sure
almost
they had the thing
like a wooden nickel,
like a wooden nickel type thing.
Do you remember
they gave
those?
out several thousand of those Indian Day buttons with the inscription "Booster Club, November 1927, Flora, Illinois," with an Indian in profile in the center, printed in red on a white background. These were reportedly eagerly sought after at the time as souvenirs. I would love to see one of those, even if somebody doesn't want to give it to me.
Yeah, I'd like to see one,
if anyone
too.
locally has one of those that we could just borrow for a Tuesday and when we film and share.
Somebody's got to have one.
That would be really cool to find one of those. But other Indians appearing that day were Fish Wolf Robe, Eagle Child, Yellow Kidney.
Is he drinks too much?
I don't know. Chief Two Guns, White Calf, Black Weasel. I would hate Black Weasel. Really? Maybe Maybe that didn't mean sly and stealthy or anything back then. Maybe it was a high honor. I don't know. Bird Rattler. Wades in the Water. Mike Shortman. Weasel Tail. Oh, here's a female. Princess Dawn Mist.
No,
that's
pretty. Better.
Bull Calf and Little Dog. There were also more women among the group, apparently the wives of some. Since Flora was known for its apple trees, the commercial club provided a barrel of the choicest Grimes golden apples on the train for the Blackfoot Indian group to enjoy. And a special dinner was served to the group at the nearby Christian church.
Yay!
That would be our church.
That would be our church.
It was a big day for Flora and an answer to the pinback with an Indian in the center. So if you've seen one of those Booster Club things with the Indian in the center, that is what it is from. It is from Indian Day in Flora.
Huh.
Who knew?
That's really cool, though. So, what do you think your Indian name
I was
would
going to
be?
ask you that. I don't know. I don't know what mine would be. What would yours be?
Screeches loudly.
Screeches loudly. Yeah. I don't know. I think yours would be Songbird.
Songbird. Oh, I like. Yeah,
that's
Songbird.
Better.
Yeah, it might be song. Yeah, that's so funny though.
Yeah.
That cracks me up. Those names.
Yeah, mine would be One with Needle and Thread.
Well,
or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Shoot.
That is awesome though.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good story.
That is a really good story. And I've never heard of anybody even talk about that.
No, Rena wrote about it. Rena Lynch Thomas wrote about it in 2014, and Dawn Thomas recently shared the article with me. That's how I found out about it. But no, thanks Dawn. But no, I didn't know about it.
Wow.
Okay, so let's end the show with a good note of words to live by or a quote. That is fantastic. What do you have for me?
Let's see. Here, I like this one because I was a daydreamer in school.
I still am.
I'm a terrible daydreamer. I can't believe I get anything done. The world is full of dreamers. There aren't enough who will move ahead and begin to take concrete steps to actualize their vision.
Yeah.
W. Clement Stone.
Kind of reminds me of that poem about being a dreamer by, what's his name? He wrote Where the Sidewalk Ends. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I'll come up with that for the next show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that if you are a dreamer, it's a big step to take your dream and turn it into actual like something that's actually going to happen.
Right. Clement Stone. Clement Stone.
Yeah.
Smart guy.
Shel Silverstein. Thank you very much.
There you go.
Finally thought of it. Thank you, brain. Yeah, he has a poem about that.
Yeah, everybody has dreams, and
everybody's got a dream.
Everybody's got a dream.
You know that scene from Pretty Woman?
Yeah. I'm on Daydream Believer. And
I love the Monkees
too. Were you a Monkees fan?
Oh yeah, I watch the Monkees every day. After
school. The Monkees. I like to watch the Monkees, but I think it's kind of like you either like the Osmond or the Jackson 5. You know, or you like the Monkees or the Beatles.
I like both.
I like both, but I like the Monkees. I like their TV show, and that was a lot of fun. But
I'm still stuck on the Pretty Woman scene. Everybody's got a dream. Some people have a dream.
I haven't watched Pretty Woman for a really long time.
We need to watch it.
I know. I do like that one. Mm-hmm. I like Pretty Woman. I like those. I like those chick flicks.
Me too.
Yeah. So some pretty interesting information on the Indians.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know that all of that about the Indian Day.
Well, we don't want to lose that. And
but you know what? If we tried to do it today, people would think it was offensive.
Yeah,
but I think they were.
I don't understand it.
No, they were honoring this tribe.
Absolutely.
They wanted to learn. Yeah, it was kind of a bring people into town event, but it was a cool one.
Well, the only people that find that offensive is rich white liberals.
Yeah,
they're the ones that find everything offensive. You go ask the Indians, they're like, "Don't take it away from us. We love that about you know."
Yeah,
it's just like getting rid of Chief Eli now, but up at U of I just makes me insane.
Yeah, but the Indians were honored.
They were honored. They should be honored.
Mm-hmm.
They should be honored. They should be
praised.
I love
it. Keep going. It's time to end our show.
She who talks too much political.
Yeah, she who opens her mouth and speaks too much. Stacey.
Yeah, that's me, but okay, whatever. All right, what a great show. I like
a great show. So thank you for joining us. You can always find us on Wabash Television Channel 100 daily at 11 a.m., but we are also on YouTube. You can find us on our YouTube channel, By the Way, with Beth and Stacey. And don't forget to like and follow us on Facebook.
That's right.
So we will see you next time.
God bless you and have a great day.